I grew up in Bangladesh. I grew up in Dhaka, the capital. So there used to be salesmen in the streets. They would sell encyclopedias or informational books. Um, I used to be a big fan of those. I would just beg my parents, please, can you buy those for me? One of them was Ripley's Believe It or Not. I'm not as much of a nerd as I make it sound. It's not just encyclopedias. So I would just spend my time reading all of that, going to school, telling all the kids in my class that, hey, the sun is not the biggest thing in the universe, and just be completely demolished by public opinion for some reason. They would refuse to believe that. So I've just been a big fan of learning different things, trying to convey it to other people, defend myself when needed. I finished my high school here. I was class of 2020. So, COVID kid like many of you guys. I feel like when high school ended, I was quite burned out. I was still very ambitious, even as a high schooler. So I used to do a lot of different things. So I guess I kind of welcomed the pandemic in the beginning because it was a little bit of a reprieve. I wasn't like constantly running around talking to different people and stressed out. But it did get very, very difficult towards the middle. I think it wasn't that difficult to find community at City College, actually. The first class I came back to was a chemistry lab class. And immediately when I walked in, I saw a Bengali girl. And I was like, you're my friend now. What made it easy was that I would walk into every class making sure I want to make a new friend, at least one new person that I want to get to know and understand where they're coming from, what kind of things that they're involved with on campus. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of being in a CUNY. It's not difficult to find people who you might relate to, who have the same values as you, who you would want to get to know, and who would want to help you. I think this is going to be a theme in whatever I say here. It's the people who I surround myself with. I remember when I was going through a pretty big family issue in my sophomore year. I was taking organic chemistry with Isa Salome. Not only did Dr. Salome help me a lot just to make sure I get through the class and get to my exams and do the things I needed to do, but I also had other people who would just sit there and listen to me, and not just my friends. Miss Stanley, I think, led me in her office and just sit and have a venting session multiple times over the course of finals week. Biology has always been something that's interested me, not just because of the aspect it has related to human beings and medicine, but for me particularly, what I've always been interested in is the brain. One of my earliest experiences dealing with renewed thought or discovery has to do with the brain. Neurons are what I learned back then when I was still like a fifth grader was that neurons can't regenerate, and that once they're dead, right? But my dad, he happened to just introduce me to the idea of neuroplasticity, or like this book he was reading at the time that he got from a mutual friend, and it was called Adult Neurogenesis. Neurogenesis is something I've always been interested in. What I want to do in the future is I want to pursue an MD PhD. So immediately after graduation, I hope to find a research position, hopefully something within neuroscience. I don't mind learning anything, honestly. Yeah, just do what I have been these past 5 years, learn as much as I can, grow as much as I can, and hopefully I can use what I've learned to get a step closer to becoming a physician scientist. What I would say to 18-year-old Naoroz would be to care less about what you think you should be doing, and to care more about what you feel like would make you more happy, would make you more comfortable. You would get to where you are faster.